Blend, don't stir. Now, this isn't an instruction for making an intoxicating beverage, but it is the method for successfully establishing a new family with children from previous relationships. And we're talking about it in episode 23 of Motherhood Unmasked. This is Motherhood Unmasked, the podcast for real talk about the challenges moms face. I'm your host, Vanessa Harris, but Mama, you are the hero. So leave your mask at the door. We're all friends here. Hey there, Mama Bear. Vanessa here with compassion, candor, and clarity for you, the mom battling overwhelm and craving real talk. It's so good to have you here. Well, I'm coming out of the gate with a heavy topic. That's the family dynamic I grew up in, and it's one that gets pretty hairy during the holidays, especially when a funeral gets thrown into the mix. While this show was in hiatus, a week before Thanksgiving, one of my older sisters, Pauline, gave up her fight with cancer. And I choose those words carefully because she was always a fighter, which explains how she survived 4 years with end-stage cancer. But the fight got old when compared to eternity with Jesus, so she gave it up. And while I'll miss her fiery spirit and fashion sense, that girl had style, what I'll miss most is what could have been. If you're my age, you probably grew up watching the Brady Bunch. Carol brought her 3 kids, and Mike brought his 3 kids, and it all just worked. Well, my family dynamics were not that. I'm the only child of both my parents. My 3 older siblings are from my parents' previous relationships. And let's just say the blending left a lot to be desired. Because if you need intention, patience, and vision to raise children of one union, you need it tenfold when creating a family from multiple unions. Especially if the goal is to create a family that's blended, not stirred. When I think about that term, I'm reminded of one of my favorite actors, Sean Connery, who just passed away in October. Talk about an actor who embodied a role. I don't care how many other actors have or will play 007. I go on record to say Sean Connery is James Bond, period. Anyway, James Bond's signature drink is a martini. Say it with me if you know. A martini shaken, not stirred. Now, I had my fair share of alcohol back in the day, but I never tried a martini, so I don't know how different a shaken versus a stirred martini plays on the tongue. But when it comes to an atypical family tree, I know the difference between a blended one and one stirred together. A blended family takes into account the family is more than a couple coming together, it's family units coming together. So the couple prioritizes establishing parent with non-biological child connections and non-biological sibling connections before marriage as much as establishing the couple's connection itself. And that takes time and the processing of all kinds of legitimate emotions, because when you're building a family, just like building a house, you have to get the foundation right. Both of my sisters are 13 years older than me, and while I grew up in the house with my dad's daughter, I didn't meet my mom's daughter, Pauline, till she was 18 when she moved here from Jamaica. I was 5, and that's a lot to take in when you're 5. And I'm sure you could imagine the fireworks that pop off when you expect one 18-year-old girl to share her room with another 18-year-old girl she barely knows and who has a chip on her shoulder because she's just now joining the party, as it were. Can you say nonstop drama? Ugh, and it stressed me out because I felt caught in the middle. I was already my one sister's shadow. In fact, with my mom working nights and in school, my dad's daughter was like a second mom to me. But I saw the chance to get to know this new sister as an adventure. An adventure that fizzled out real quick because my sisters did not get along. And the nonstop competition was something that young women don't ever need help falling into. And oh, my brother, my dad's son, and the oldest child remained blissfully unaware of all of it across the pond in England, where he grew up. So you see how you can't just stir people together and call it a family? Not if you want the love and bonding a family can provide. It wasn't until we were both adults that Pauline and I established a relationship on our own terms, and I got to hear the pain from her perspective. You know it's true when they say your kids didn't ask to be here. Like it or not, it's up to us parents to set them up for success in life. And I'm not talking about a financial portfolio, although if you can do that too, you should, because that's awesome. But I'm talking about success as people who love, show compassion, and consider others before themselves. And kids only do that when we love them, show them compassion, and consider their needs before our own. Pauline and I got to love and respect each other as sisters before she passed, but there was so much time wasted and so much we still didn't know about each other. And that's the sad part. But this story does end in victory. When my mom and I visited her not long before she passed, that alone put a smile on her face, but you should have seen it when I got my other sister on the phone to speak with her. They laughed and cried, and they actually said they loved each other for like the first time ever. So, though our family dynamic as a whole is still a little funky, thankfully we came full circle on that front. Not every family does, though, and it shouldn't take decades to see that kind of progress. Blended families don't just work out like the Brady Bunch. No, the kids won't love your spouse just because you love him. A strong family, especially a blended one, takes work, and you and your husband need to roll up your sleeves and get to it. So that brings me to a new segment of the show called Homework. And by homework, I mean the work a woman does to build her home and family. Motherhood is my jam in general, but I'm particularly drawn to moms from broken homes who want to build better ones, because I get that. I get that real personal. And if you're contemplating blending a family or have a blended family and you know things aren't gelling the way you'd like, I have 3 assignments for you. Don't worry, they're not graded. But before I go through them, I want you to know I created a handy printable for you to hang on your fridge or wherever works for your family as a friendly reminder of what I'm about to go through. It's my gift to you that you can access along with all my other resources when you sign up at vinelifefaith.com/podcast. So the 3 areas you should address are counseling, connection, and communication. Now, you already know there are a lot of moving parts when combining different family dynamics. There are complicated emotions to process, and everyone may not feel comfortable being honest or even know how to express their feelings. So family counseling prior to marriage, and certainly while newlyweds, if not beyond, communicates to the children in your life that they matter and allows a neutral third party to uncover hidden issues before they become a major headache. 2, you and your fiance or husband should spend time alone with each non-biological child to the degree that they feel comfortable. For you, that's anything from one-on-one chats in the kitchen to lunch dates or shopping trips. But just like you date their dad, they need assurance your relationship with them is as important as your relationship with him. Individual, regular dates with each child, if there's more than one, doing things they like, go a long way in communicating you're invested. And speaking of that, the 3rd area is communication. Communication. Say it with me. Communication. No relationship develops or survives without it. And blending families is not for the squeamish. So if your non-biological child can't share honestly with you about their challenges or concerns about how the family will flow and function, then that's your problem, not theirs. Counseling will help with that, but you have to be secure enough to respect feelings you're not thrilled to hear in order to respond in a way that builds connection that will eventually build your family. See how all the C's work together? Now, obviously, none of these are quick fixes, hence the need for intention, patience, and a vision for how you'd like your blended family to function and feel. But if you've been stirring your heart out, trying to mix everyone together and wondering why it's not working, now you know. Now, in the thick of daily life, it'll be a challenge to keep all these C's in mind. So if you'd like that free printable to help you out, sign up for my weekly email at vinelifefaith.com/podcast. And if you know a mom with a blended family, hit the share button and send her this episode, because moms don't let other moms blend families alone. Well, that's it for today's episode. And that's it for 2020 almost, huh? Can you believe it's almost over? It's been a doozy for sure, and while there's been loss in many ways, there's also been the opportunity to build legacy. And though none of us knows what 2021 will hold, you know what I do know? When it comes to you being the mother of your children, you are the woman for the job. Take care. For all things Motherhood Unmasked, including fun and helpful resources and a link to leave me a message, check out vinelifefaith.com/podcast. Motherhood Unmasked is sponsored by Vine Life Faith, where we're breaking negative cycles and building healthy community through connection with Christ. vinelifefaith.com.